All right. Boy, I tell you what, the mosquitoes are already out here. I wonder, do they carry COVID-19? What do you think?
The mosquitoes.
Uh,
I mean, they carried Ebola.
yeah. Listen, I wanted to tell everybody. What'd you say now?
I mean, the mosquitoes carried Ebola, so I don't know.
I wanted to tell everybody, look, here's what we get ready. Hey, listen, I'm getting ready to. I don't want neither one of them. I'm getting ready to play a couple of songs. I wanted to alert the. I'm gonna go get my tinky torches too. I wanted to alert
Uh-oh.
the our audience tonight. This is not any type of heavy um, hip hop. This is just a couple of smooth songs, and then Reverend Ballard and I are going to talk about reaching this community. Jesus and hip hop. Jesus could communicate to this generation, all generations, I do believe. And it kind of reminds me of that song or that movie, Black Jesus, when he was in the hood. Don't think that Jesus wouldn't come to the hood, because he will. So this is our Tuesday night special. We're going to play a couple of songs. This is not gospel music, so don't, listen. I'm I'm not going to hell just because I'm playing these songs. This is just to go with our subject
Be
for
careful with
tonight,
those tiki
just to
torches,
get the
Doc.
listeners and all of those to see, just in case you never heard hip hop. Yeah, I'm gonna get them just so you can know what
You
it
never
is
know who's
that
gonna
we
show up when you
are
burn those
playing.
tiki
All
torches.
right,
They
we'll
may
be
show up
back
on you.
shortly. Enjoy these two. What'd you say, Doc?
Those white marchers may show up on you with those tiki
Yeah,
torches.
yeah. Here we go. Hey, brother Parham. All right, here we go. I'm thinking I might need to go in so I can get a little signal, but we're gonna make it do what it's doing.
Just me, y'all. He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. Who would y'all put on the NYC rap Mount Rushmore? Which rappers would be on the NYC Mount Rushmore? Somebody said Grandmaster Flash, KRS-One, Nas, J, and
All
B.
right, here we go. I
Hey,
guess I tuned out for a second, so I need to come on in because um, we have a little shortage of Wi-Fi going on. But let me just get started here. I don't know. Did you hear the explicit version? I need to probably change that to the what would you call it? The radio version.
there's an explicit version of that?
It is. It is, and I heard it real loud and clear. So you didn't hear it, so that's good. He
Okay.
says, "I got to take you." Well, you'll hear it. I'll tell you after it. Radio version, and we're not trying to infringe on copyrights here. We get no. This is just for information and inspiration, and I ain't gonna say entertainment because. All right. So y'all bear with me. Here we go. I tell you what. Here's what we got right here. I tell you what we're gonna do. I am really um LL. All right. Because when it just
Smoke too many blunts and I be working out every day thinking about you. Looking at my own eyes in the rear view. Catching flashbacks of our eye contact. Wish I could lay you on your stomach and caress your back. I would hold you in my arms and ease your fears. I can't believe it. I ain't had a crush in years. Hey, love. I see you at the bus stop waiting every day. Your man must think it's safe for you to travel that way. And I don't want to violate your relationship, so I lay back in the cut with a crush that's a trip. Still, he can't stop me from having daydreams, tonguing you down with vanilla ice cream. Kissing on your thighs under moonlight, searching your body with my tongue, girl, all night. I wonder one day could it be simple dreams could turn into reality. Our love would come down so naturally.
all right. Yep.
We would walk down the aisle of destiny. What your man get is hustle.
Okay, looks like that's not appropriate, huh? Said it's not. I don't think this is appropriate right here. So much for driving that point. You got the whole Warner Brothers. I think that'll block the video. So I'm not laughing because I'm laughing because I'm surprised, and that's okay. So
No,
anyway,
let's go with that, Doc.
huh?
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it because man, there's so much. I don't want to say sensitivity, but God, you can't do nothing
Right.
these days, can you?
Well, sexuality in the black church is a sensitive topic, right?
And hey, I like to talk about it too.
We can get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
But how, so it's LL Cool J, right? And I'm just thinking while you playing it,
Mhm.
how can we make, LL cool, how can we make Jesus cool?
Right.
Right? And that's the intent of this, right?
Right.
Is to make a connection that says, sexuality is a real thing, that even sexuality is spirituality in most, juvenile conversations, teenage love, puppy love, you know how it is.
Right.
Adolescence, late night on the phone, falling asleep on the phone together. We've all done that, I think.
Yeah.
Anybody in the
you're
40
right
plus,
about that.
I saw my son the other night, he falling asleep on the FaceTime. They want to FaceTime to fall asleep now.
What was they talking about? The Bible?
The Song of Solomon.
Hey man, that's
Same thing
good.
LL talking about.
What did he tell two what did Solomon say to that Shulamite woman? Breasts like twin lilies.
Black and beautiful. That's
Black
poetic
and
justice.
beautiful. And people need to, I guess, I'm sure everybody knows that he was talking to a black, beautiful woman. King was.
And imported, some explicit nature content in there.
He
We
did.
still clear that.
Man,
Kaya,
when I got away
he
from
got into
Paris,
some.
Tennessee, I found out that there was a lot more to that than I realized.
Yeah, he got into a little Kaya, my neck and my back,
Absolutely. And see, that's my whole point, because just like the language of man, listen, there's nothing really been said, maybe some new flowered words, but I mean, it's all have to do with, I think every generation, depending on what words they use, they've heard it. So I said, well, man, we're not saying anything that they haven't heard. We're keeping it clean, but still it's in there. And Solomon was talking about one of his women.
Yeah, one of them,
He said, yeah, one of them.
The downfall of too many men is the upkeep of too many women.
God, man, what are you talking about? That's another subject right there.
That is a whole nother subject.
It'll get us cut. I'm sure that'll get us cut off, because I've been wanting to talk about, man, and I've been known to get off topic, but it's going to help somebody. I've been known to talk about situations that are less popular to talk about. And one of those subjects that I really want to talk about with people who got some sense is the Me Too movement. Does it clash, or does it not clash? Do people are there innocent people who are getting railroaded on in the name of that? And that's just some stuff that man, anything that causes division is a problem. So, but you got to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, where we gonna go? And if we don't talk about it, how's it gonna be solved? And you ever notice that comedians these days, and even rappers, which hip hop artist just got canceled? What is the cancel culture? Let me ask that first.
Well, it's really slick survival of the fittest, right? It's one and done, you know.
Right.
There's
How
no
do you get so much
redemption.
power?
Huh?
How do you get so much power to say, "Hey, we out of here"?
Right here. You know, everybody's got a platform now, and
yeah,
you know, even to Naomi Osaka, you know, just yesterday getting the tone right. People
right.
creating these microaggressions intentionally just to get, you know, they're chasing clout, right? They're basically chasing clout. It's usually somebody who's probably been affected by the, you know,
yes,
or feel like
in
they're
a negative
advocating.
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a myriad.
If I've been affected in a negative way, does that give me a right? I mean, to just go and do people in that don't have a right just because I don't like them? I mean, you know.
So, Reverend, I don't want to, you know, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. But you know, this whole thing about toxic masculinity, right, in the Me Too movement, right? And because I identify somewhat as a hip hop feminist, like a thespian like Tupac. Tupac could say "Dear Mama," could say "Keep your head up," but rap about "I get around." Like that. That's a struggle for me, right? I mean, like that's kind of where I land on as a hip hop feminist. I think my freedom, my liberation comes built. It's built in for space, you know, for women to be out front, like by all means. So let me foreground my comment with that, right? I can, you know, I said Sha'Carri Richardson was ratchet when she did what she did, because I think I'm ratchet. You feel me? Like I'm going to identify as straight like that,
right?
You know? And I got, you know, voices behind me on my shoulders, right? I got ancestors, you know, right here, the bookshelf. This is my flex, you know.
Right.
So I'm not saying this without, you know, some thought behind it.
Oh, I feel you absolutely.
So just because there's a, you know, toxic masculinity, and I think that's been weaponized, you know, whimsically a little bit. It is a thing. You know, I'm not here to, you know, advocate. I'm not here to apologize for it. Make an apology.
Right.
You know, I do want to be sensitive to how toxic patriarchy men can be. I accept that on the chin, right? Boom. You know, that's cool with me. But there is a such thing as well. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right? It's a such thing as toxic femininity. And I've
explain that right there. Hey, explain that right there.
You don't get me in trouble,
so
man.
You will know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying, but I got to hear it.
You're gonna get me in trouble, man. I haven't, you know, and the parts gonna get me in trouble is because I haven't fleshed it all the way out. I'm in a process of thinking through that.
Okay.
Right. Well, I don't want to say anything that could, you know,
ruin somebody. Then you don't have to put it together. I got
you. Yeah, I'm, you know, I'm working with it. I'm really trying to
I ain't lying.
put that together.
When I first got to ABC, man, I seen a dude take a Bible, boy. You know, I'm from the country. You know, population when I was growing up was about 2,000, so it's a small place. And when I seen that guy throw that Bible on the ground and then said a few choice words, oh my! I said I done came to the wrong place. I'm getting up out of here. But I didn't run off because I'm not all closed.
You know, the gates of hell. You know, they didn't say they wouldn't open. They won't prevail. But
hey, man, I had to stick around. I said he was throwing the Bible in the ground and stepping on it, man. Let me tell you something. That professor, shout out to him, opened my man. You know, it's funny what the mind will do, because if you haven't never been exposed to something, then you can't even think on that level. So when I was exposed to that, man, I said, oh man, thank God for the bringing up church. Thank God for the old church, but I needed this right here. So now I have my you know, where I build my framework at is man, like what you're saying, like it changed a whole lot for me, that because I'm one, even though for some reason I keep on getting I don't know, maybe I'm just taking them, maybe I'm just so masculine that I just come across wrong. And I have just happened, man, to had a couple of situations that I didn't think was warranted, and I thought if I tried, I'm like, well, I'm the good guy,
Right.
So I'm like, why do
I
I
mean,
keep getting
allyship can get you in trouble, man.
huh?
I'm the first one to say, allyship, being an
Right?
ally can
Yeah,
get you
yeah,
in
yeah,
some
yeah.
real trouble.
It is. Yeah.
I'm like I said, why say the term if I can't flesh it out, right? But I just
Right.
wanted to introduce that because I know I'm not saying it started here first with me, but I'm just saying what I thought, and I will flesh it out
Mm-hmm.
and come back with some commentary around
Oh,
that.
no doubt.
Not much. I'm just really like I said, just the flip side of the coin, and that's not the step. I don't want to step on the bad side of the aisle either, against anything feminism, right? Because I want to, identify with, not so much as, but with. So
Yeah, yeah, that's important. That's important. Not so much as, but with. 100% agree.
yeah.
Let me ask you something, man.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't want to. I don't know how to, like some of the stuff that we see in the in the media, and I know the media is sometimes fake news. But let me ask you this: when you see, what do you think about artists like Lil Nas X? Like as far as as a as an artist, first of all, let me ask it like this: do you think? And this is a good question right here. Very simple though. Do you think Jesus would holler at him?
Would holler at him. What
Yeah.
you
Do you
mean?
think he go and try to, what would he say to him? What would that
You mean holler
conversation
like
look
get
like?
with him? I don't know what you mean, Doc. I'm being in trouble.
Let me tell you something, man. Dr. Hardy said something one time that blew my mind. That was another thing, and that's not what I'm talking about. That's for a whole nother
Okay,
time.
that Jesus got naked around some boys. I mean, like a room full of men. I don't know.
Would he would? I mean, you think they would have been cool?
Yes, I actually do. And because another professor, uh, out of his context, Dr. Martin Espinoza,
Hold on, Doctor Who now?
Martin Espinoza,
Oh yeah, yes, yes. I love that class. Sexuality in the Black Church.
right? He brought out the centurion's request, right? That Jesus, right? He says he goes to Jesus and says, "Look, just come." And Jesus like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to your house." He's like, "No, just
Right.
say the word," right?
Right. Hey, listen,
Another,
time out before you say this. I said that yesterday. I wish you could have saw my servant. I said, just like the centurion servant, I said, but I got some stuff going on at the house you really don't need to see right now. But go ahead.
exactly. It's in. He won't even let him come in the house.
Right. No, he said, hey, just say the
Just,
word.
just stay out,
I
just
don't
stay
need you
right
to
there at
see
the
what's
door.
happening.
Keep your social distance. I'm good.
Right.
Just give me the word from out there. And Jesus says, this faith. I've not seen any faith like this faith, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
That's
of
right.
course, you broke down, of course, what that boy servant
Mm-hmm.
meant, right?
Yeah. Some say he was a sex slave.
Correct. And Jesus blesses, right?
Right. And he
Heals the
still
boy.
blessed. And that's something, man, that I have shared with my church because I think I'm at the point where I don't know, we probably have a brand new congregation. But as I was introducing some stuff that I know they never heard because coming from the traditional church, I took some little baby steps. First thing
Yeah.
I said that there's no such thing as Jesus. And I, I build it on from that. What? No such thing as Jesus, and then
Uh-oh.
I kind of explained that to where people would understand, man, that I'm not talking about the Jesus of America. I'm talking about the Jesus of the Bible. It's a difference. So,
Correct.
like my members would know, yeah, that boy, he didn't want to come in because that was supposed to be some type of unpopular act
Pederasty.
that was going on. Yeah, yeah, interaction. That's right. Yes, sir.
Pederasty. It's called pederasty.
You're right. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The same thing with the Greek organizations, like why join a Greek organization that's just going to abuse you, right?
Right.
But there's a learning process apparently in that, organization that kind of relationship, fosters a network. And of course, you get into the whole sex slave business of that, like
Right.
that could be profitable for some, right?
Right.
They go renegade, and all of a sudden they turn around and make other disciples. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot that we can
You know what I
slip
think?
down that slippery slope.
That's yes, it's a very slippery slope. But see, we need to talk about it because one day somebody's going to be listening, and they need to know, something from somebody that probably. And I'm not saying anything against anybody who don't have any education. That's not what I'm saying. But there are those who think that they know it all, and they don't know anything. So when you hear it from a scholar such as yourself, and you've done the work, that's why when you said earlier, and this don't go with unthought. If people know who you are, they already know you've put some thought in it. But people need to hear this. They need to hear it. You see that cat right there?
Yes, sir.
You know where I got that at? White guy gave it to me at work. Real cool fella. Loved me, but he didn't like that picture right there. And he knew I was a preacher. He said, "Here you go. You can hang this up in your church."
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the historical Jesus.
Yeah.
Bronze
the
feet.
lick, Ballard.
Nappy hair and bronze feet, right?
Hey, that ain't the lick though, man. The lick is I didn't even know who it was when he gave it to me. I had, I've been so indoctrinated with that other. I'm like, when I got it home, I looked. I said, "Oh, well, that was 2 years. That was a couple of years after I had, I was looking at it one day, and I said, man.
Well, Jesus that we looking at is, the white alabaster Jesus, right? That's Michelangelo's cousin or whoever.
Right. That's what
Goldilocks.
Yeah.
And in my church, my last assignment before I switched to my new assignment, I used to put, different images up of Jesus, and people would ask me, like, the picture of Big Crit, right? So Big Crit is up on my screen, and people are asking, well, who is that? And I was like, it's just a representation, right? If we can sit there and worship, or if Martin, JFK, and Jesus, in grandmama's house is the alabaster Christ, right?
Right.
My Jesus is black, if he can look at Michelangelo's cousin, why come I can't look at Big Crit?
Amen.
And that spills over into another parallel, right? It's not, and this whole thing about slavery ordained in the Bible, and I'll wrap it, the point, and let you get to the next question. But it's not.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not the slavery in the Bible that was a problem.
Right.
It's slavery in America that was the problem.
Right.
And the two are not the same.
No, nowhere near it. And
that was the argument in the American Revolution.
Man, I got to tell people that when they say, well, Africans wasn't the only one enslaved. There was slavery. Hey, listen, nothing like Africa.
Whole different economy, Doc.
Totally. I'll let you talk about it,
though. They still got slaves in South Africa. I mean, you still can have a live-in nanny, right? I mean, that's slavery.
Well, you can still have that here now. I want you to know, because the 13th Amendment says involuntary. They might have changed that. It doesn't say voluntary. It says involuntary. So technically, in the United States of America, according to the Constitution of the United States, if it says "I love you," then inadvertently, the opposite would be "I don't love you." Right. So if it says
slavery is still legal, yes.
Slavery or involuntary servitude. So really, legal slavery is legal forced slavery is the mass incarceration, in my opinion. And then this whole thought of just as long as we don't say nothing and you don't act like you're a slave, but you act like you work for me, you act like one of my children, then it's legal. So crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy, man. I get so upset. But anyway, you just sparked a nerve right there. It's still legal though, but nothing like American, nothing like they did the Africans when they went over there. No type of what, African slavery is the most brutal. It's the most devil thing that any human being could ever do to anybody. And that's why I don't understand the audacity to say Puerto Ricans were marginalized too. Puerto Rican, they ain't never been enslaved though. It's a difference there. But anyway,
Well, the diaspora would say, of course they would find otherwise, but the Spaniards, and there's a lot of pride in Mexico. There's a lot of brown pride out there when it comes to the Catholic Church, but
Yeah.
because they divide themselves apart, they want to set themselves apart from the Spaniards. Some of the Spaniards were conquered, uh, and slave revolts and just revolts because of oppression through the Catholic Church. Right,
Right.
Catholic Church has all the technology, has can recreate right now, can recreate the Big Bang event, right? The Big Bang
People
theory.
don't know that, brother. Let me tell you something. When I found out that they are so powerful that they can have their own, that if you commit a crime, you can be tried by they got their own governance system.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know.
even into the Jews, the Jews have their own ambulance system in, I believe, New York. You can call, if you're Jewish, you can call the Jewish ambulance and they'll come running.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, power is a beast.
It is, man.
And it's the worst thing that can happen to a person if which slavery is, but Dr. Slaughter would say, and the person who created the slave can do anything in this world, right?
Mm.
And that's why they, want small government, because, i.e.,
Mm.
white power. That's good old boy. It's locked in, exclusive, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I know. I admire so many people. And there's this man. You know what? When I think of power, right? I think of Donald Trump. Now, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Donald Trump. When I think of people who love Donald Trump, I think of black people, and I'm gonna tell you why. When we was growing up, Donald Trump was like the Don. You know what? That might be the reason. Is that where they got the Don from, Donald Trump? Because man, he was cool with black people. Remember, Mike Tyson,
Oh yeah,
big fan of Donald Trump. They was fighting in the Trump Plaza, Trump this, Trump that. When
yeah,
I got to Chicago, man, I saw the Donald Trump stuff down there. I was like, whoa, you
yeah.
know, I was like, whoa, man. And, you know, I can't say that I did not like his rhetoric. I looked in the background and saw some things I thought was great. Then I saw some things that was horrible, like appointing more judges than any other president besides Andrew Jackson. I don't know how many it is now. Not one was a person that looked like you or I. But
They
if it's
dug up
different.
one. I think they dug up one just to say it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they got it. That's the token, I guess, is what
Right.
we call it. But there's always gonna be one of them
Over
that you
200,
know.
right at 200.
So,
That's a lot. That's a lot. Over
yeah,
two, right around that number, 200. That was the
yeah,
number.
yeah. I mean, man, and see, people don't understand that does not. You can say whatever, but that
Some
does
of
not
those are lifetime appointments.
lifetime appointment. Man, that's what I'm saying. And see, people don't know that. And I had an interesting conversation that I haven't made it public yet of the Mobile Institute that I told you that we did down here, and it was a blessing, man. And
Right.
and I can't say um, sometimes I'm glad, like we live in a smaller county, and stuff crooked stuff goes on everywhere, and even more so in small towns that we might not
Yeah.
ever know. But
Yes.
man, like when I came to Nashville years ago, way before I went to school and everything, man, I did not. That was the first time I seen like two Krogers. Like, cause where I'm from, it's only one everything except for a dollar store. They got about 20 of them. I don't see why they got all the dollar stores here. Are they building them like that up there?
Yeah, it's supposed, dollar stores, they want one in every town, every hamlet, on every side of town.
Man, I just tell you, they got about 20 here. They they crazy.
Yeah.
But hey, if you, man, I'm gonna buy some dollar store stock is what I'm gonna try to do. But anyway, I got somebody come here who's gonna talk about investments, and uh, banks who know what they're doing, and
Right.
that's pretty cool. But yeah, man,
But let me get back to what you were saying. You
yeah,
said,
go ahead,
let me
please.
get back into one point. So as far as the historical Jesus, I'm looking at the picture again up there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people get tight when it comes to black Jesus, right? They get tight. I mean, it's this white guilt. I mean, even the brothers and sisters, right? Black sisters and brothers feel bad for those white sisters and brothers in there, right? Oh, he about to start talking about Whitey and this, that,
I don't feel bad. I mean, but I guess there are those who do.
And because why? It's going to open up the door in the conversation to conversations like these.
And that's what we need. Because
right.
if we
So
don't have conversation, there's no awareness.
Right. So, I mean, it was many a blues song that came across pulpits, right? And then, what happened, people, evangelism, and I mean evangelicalism, excuse me, evangelical, it started spreading, right, and into Black bodies. It started this Azusa revival, and everybody started buying in and to the frenzy of it, and it was all this, they were tapping into all that evangelicalism, and it shut the door to rap, right? I mean, like they're steamrolling, CDs out, burning, statues of Tupac in effigy,
Yeah, we talked about that last week. That was crazy.
Right, Calvin O'Butts, says, we're not against rap, not against rappers, but we are against those thugs. Well, there was a thug on the side of Jesus, right? There was a thug on the other side of Jesus. He was between two thugs. He didn't get crucified in between two thieves.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry, two candles.
Right.
He got crucified in between two thugs, right?
That's
two
right.
thieves. And, so once and if you wear it if the cap fits, but, it just don't fit them. Mm-hmm. And it gets them tight and uncomfortable. And it just opens up the dialogue for the young people, right? For those, 0 to 12, 12 to 29, 30 and up.
Right.
It gets into them, and all of a sudden we're back at where Dr. King observed, right? The most segregated hour.
Wow.
The 11 o'clock hour. And even one, if one white person, if one speck, one sugar, one speck of salt, right? It used to be a speck of pepper. Ain't no pepper nowhere in here, ain't nothing in the gun. If one speck, one white dot is in there,
right?
Everybody, it throws off everything, and we want to protect and kumbaya and no, what I'm saying?
Hey, did they cut us off yet? Are we still on Facebook? We okay? Good. Keep going.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I was just checking because they had blocked us, but I think we're still on, so I'll never do that again. Now, but if it comes to telling the truth, I don't care about that. Willie D said the truth don't care who tell it, and the
lie don't either.
Yeah, a lie don't
Money
care.
bag,
But anybody will tell a lie, and a truth. Well, light and darkness can't occupy the same spot, but it's in the human body around the tongue area.
What they say, a lie get halfway around the world before truth can put on his pants.
That's right. That's the truth, because people always want to hear some juicy stuff, man. But I'm gonna tell you, when the truth put on his pants, hey, when the truth stands, he's like right. Errol Spence Jr. He's tough, man. But hey, you're right, man. I've had so many lies told on me by a cancel culture type people, and man, listen, hey, I don't know what to say. I don't really say much. I internalize it, but man, I don't, and people who know me hear about it, but other than that, I ain't tripping on people lying.
I ain't tripping on nothing. I mean, people gonna chase clout, man.
That's what it is, man.
And they gonna get chased down for that. You feel me? Like, it's just the culture. Culture get you killed out here. It will. We talked about that last week. People get killed over misunderstandings all the time.
Easy.
So, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
A lot of them just, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, I got who was it? Kevin Gates. I like Kevin Gates. Did we talk about Kevin Gates last?
A little bit.
And then
a little bit.
It's a song that Kevin Gates and the guy who just got killed up in Houston. He was one of Lil Boosie's rappers. I mean,
man, there's so many that die every day. Doc, listen. I was going through my phone the other day, and it's just it seemed like
So
the
real,
one
I
thing
mean,
my
Alabama.
algorithm will catch,
Yeah.
is when somebody dying, if it's somebody preaching,
Uh-huh.
or if it was a rapper that died. If a rapper gets died, gets killed, I mean, it's at the top, it's
Yeah.
above the fold, the newspaper. And it's like it was every day for a minute. It's like every other
Yeah,
day
yeah,
now.
yeah. Mo 3, that was his name. Mo 3.
Did Mo die?
Man,
Yeah, Mo did. Yep.
man.
Wow.
Behind what you were saying earlier, behind the rise of every good man. That's what I heard. Now I don't know how true the story is, but I heard he was coming from a lady's house who had set him up. Now, if it's a lie, the TV told it, but the guy, uh, I guess he got into the car or whatever. Seemed like if it was a setup like that, though, he would
But
have happened.
you know how it is, Doc. I mean, like, back to the white Jesus thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lie, but the belief in that lie has created so much for us. It's like created something up there you
Wow,
can tap into.
wow. The
And
belief in that lie.
when the real comes, it's like you don't want. Some people don't want to rethink. Like I got it wrong this whole time.
Oh
Like when I
man, talk
like
about that.
when I was preaching into black bodies, I was preaching this liberation. They would come up after service and be like, I got mixed children. You make me feel bad about their relationship decisions because I taught them how to see a person. And I'm like, no, you taught them how to ignore a person. You taught you taught them how to, to go along and get along.
Right, right, right.
But what you're saying to me is that you feel bad because the truth is what I'm saying, and you don't like that.
Right, right,
That you don't want to admit that you got it wrong.
right, right. Hey man,
And
some
they
people,
rather be entertained by the lie,
right.
because it's
A
more
lot is
entertaining than the
gonna
truth.
a lot is gonna divide and tear up stuff. And man, listen, I have seen people. I was listening to Dr. Howard John Wesley, the Reverend Doctor, talking about relationships, man. And he says some people will let a whole relationship go over something that's not even worth it. And I have seen, man, good friends get into it.
Man,
If it wasn't over um, somebody's with one of them's girlfriend, then it was about, you know, um, something stupid stuff. So I mean, good God, something petty, and it boils down to who's right or wrong. But he also said it don't boil down to who's right or wrong. It boils down to communication. Um, but once a person know that and this is me, I can speak from experience. Once I understand that there's nothing wrong with saying, well, man, hey, I was wrong. All these years, here I am looking, and it was I mean, nowhere, all the evidence. There's not a single piece of evidence besides um, America's Jesus that points to Jesus even looking like Michelangelo's cousin. There's not. I mean, it's like the guy who got sentenced. It was a black judge sentencing a black man. He is supposed to kill this girl. I can't really. I mean, like for nothing. I think. And the judge says he says he didn't do it. Your Honor, I didn't do it. And I don't know if he did it or not. I didn't follow the case to enough to give an opinion on it. And my opinion wouldn't be a professional one anyway. It's just be for my. It's just for entertainment. But he says the judge, after he said I didn't do it, Your Honor, and I hope you consider that this judge says I have never seen a case where all of the evidence, 100% of it, points to you doing this. And that's not the case with white Jesus. I don't see nothing when you look in the history. As a matter of fact, I got the man. The further I go back, the darker this dude looks.
and they try to blame it on it being dirty. The paintings
Man, isn't
being
that something? Let's
soot.
slow down.
Yeah.
Boy,
Well, Moses was black because the picture was collected so much dust. Oh, okay. But he still, it's on the wall. It's just writings on the wall, man.
hey man, Jesus probably, because I'll tell you another thing. Not only do people want to admit that they was wrong, but that changes the whole dynamics of the conversation. It changes the narrative. It changes emotions. It changes my personal feelings of how I feel about a nigga who died for me. That's not so. No, that didn't happen. That's the mind right there. You
Well,
know.
yeah, Nate, you want, and that's the first step towards right liberation, towards change, self-actualization, self-discovery. When you can question everything, right? If everything comes full circle into that one point,
Mm-hmm.
especially around the name Jesus, you know, that's a good thing, right? I believe what movie was that? The Spike Lee's most recent film with well, actually he did help with it, but the guy who did Birth of a Nation, Nate, is it Nate Parker? I forget his name.
Nate Parker. What is that?
Uh,
That sound familiar.
what is his name? I don't want to get in trouble for saying the wrong name. So let's look it up.
Who is it? Let me look it up. Rob, go ahead. You said it was the. I was looking for my other device. Say that again now. Nate Parker.
Yeah, Nate Parker. That's him.
Okay.
So he, you
Yeah,
know,
that's it. Yeah.
and he the movie is about him going vigilante,
Mm-hmm.
over police brutality. So he takes the police station under siege and puts up this, like Batman Bane court, like wants to try out,
Nate
judge and jury.
Parker. We are, dude. This dude. That's Nate Parker right there.
Yeah, that's him. Yep, yep. Well,
We gotta
he
look
had
at
some,
this.
he had some allegations against him that tried to cancel him,
Mm.
and so Spike came out and
I
helped him with
remember
the
that.
film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So Birth of a Nation started with that, this sexual assault and
Mm-hmm.
impropriety, you know, allegations come up, and he has to go out on this redemption tour, kind of. But it really hurt his sales, tanked his sales a little bit, tanked his views. It did. So, long story long, one of the lines in this movie. What was this movie? What's the most recent movie he did? It's the last one that he did. And
It says right here, solitary to be announced. American Skin,
American Skin. That's it.
Lyndon
American Skin.
Johnson.
American Skin. And
Okay.
one of the last lines that the white officer said that I'm starting to question everything now, right? And
Yes.
then what's the next thing that happens? Walking out, he loosens his grip under siege, and when he walks out, back on the grid of the patriarchy, police brutality, white power, white supremacist America, he gets shot, right? Shot down dead outside the door. But was his work in vain? It gives this whole Christ-like sacrificial work. And
That's good stuff.
for the truth, right? I mean, for the sake of truth, for the sake of justice.
Right.
He's willing to die. Was not afraid to do what he did. And if that repercussion means death, he's willing to go that route. So because Dietrich Bonhoeffer would tell us, the cross is a call to die to death.
Hey man, it is.
Right?
It
So
is.
if I'm wearing, of course, means life, but if I'm wearing the cross around my neck, Jesus
Right.
comes back, he's like, man, y'all still killing me out here. It's like y'all still on that,
Right.
maybe, you know what I'm saying? If he came back today, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna profess, a cross,
Yeah.
right? That's saying you're willing to die
I should have
for
told that to
the belief.
some people who committed to something, because a lot of people don't get that. And I say it seriously, man. I mean, in church, I mean, come on. If you really love the Lord, you love where your treasure is. Guarantee. If you love the Lord, you become the church man. Listen, I figured out a way. I just trust in the Lord, and I am full time pastor, and I'm glad I did, because man, we wouldn't be. I got a lot of stuff done, is all I can say. But yeah, I thank God that I trust in Him. But it's a call to bury a cross. What's his name? In the book "Dying to Preach," I got back there. He says, "You got to remember this preaching. It's a call to bear a cross. It's not a call to look good or wear a nice suit. It's not a call to get prestige, but it's a call to bear a cross. Must Jesus bear a cross alone and all the world go free? No, so that's a good point, Ballard. What you reckon? Big? Go ahead. We got about 5 minutes. Yeah. Let's give us a last comment and remark.
I'm good, man. I'm looking at my watch tonight. I got time tonight. I got time today. I'm good, brother.
Okay,
I
man.
wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but right here, I got my wife, I got my family here. We're good.
Man. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. There, I love to hear, and I saw your wife last. My wife didn't remember you because I told her. You know what? When she came. By the time I got into the campus, Dr. Hardy allowed her to come to a class, and she met Cad. I mean, she met a lot of people. Plus, she went to the baccalaureate and of course the graduation, and we just had a good time. So he was a upperclassman, but I
Yep.
always remembered him because he didn't mind sharing his knowledge with the freshmen. Always cool, and I always probably one of the smartest people that came through there. But man, I tell you, I love it when a black man loves his wife. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And he know
Yeah.
that because that's something else that I think that needs to be talked about. And I think I'm gonna write a book on marriage and I'm gonna write.
That's the second time you said that, Doc.
I'm telling you, man, I feel it. I got to get the discipline to do it.
All right.
Go ahead and get the rest of my paperwork because that's another topic. There are a lot of
Get
people
into
struggling.
it, brother. Tap in.
Huh?
Get into it. Tap into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you as a communication partner, and then you can write a little piece in there too. But man, I really need to do that because
As
I
a
feel
therapist, even,
yeah, man.
man,
You know what I thought about? You mentioned Slaughter earlier. I thought about going to school and getting what he got, but he got. I mean, he's high up there. Is he still in ITC?
he is.
Yeah.
Slaughter's a busy man.
Oh, I bet he is. I
He's a
bet
busy
he
man.
is, man. He's tough. I never
He's
will
tough.
forget, man. One day we're gonna go. I'm gonna let you go after this. I gotta go and get. I think man. Another thing, Ballard. I'm tired of eating. Man, we went to a Popeyes yesterday. It could have been. It could have been anywhere. I don't. It might have been. It could have been anywhere. But man, when we went, good God Almighty, I'm gonna call them now. But I don't know if I still have the receipt. Man, I've never went to a Popeyes. I think this one, man, might have just been, I don't know, it might have been a pop-up Popeyes. It might have been in a tent or something. I
Not
don't
a
know.
pop-up. Not a
But
tent.
man, listen, I have never tasted a Popeyes chicken that did not have any flavor in it. I mean, man, I'm gonna tell you something. When I first pulled up to it, I should have said, no, they ain't got no blacks in there. We need to go on somewhere else. But man, let me tell you what happened. I went through the drive-through, and the guy said, "Well, we don't have any
The
large."
unseasoned gospel. That's what we got out here.
Yeah. Man, he said we went to the doggone. The dude said he had charged me something for something that he didn't have. Well, he knew that when he was telling me, and I said, I said, wait, but he said, well, we don't have this, and I said, but you charged me for it, fella. Oh, it ain't that much. Man, when this dude said that, I said to myself, I have never in my life, and I ran restaurants for a living, heard anybody say after they told them they didn't have it, and just look at me, and I said, well, you charged me for it. Well, it ain't that much. You didn't charge me that much. I didn't charge you that much for it. What I do then? I mean, I said, man, you stressed out, ain't you? I said, y'all better get some help in here because, they claiming because of the government's handout that, a lot of people ain't going back to work because then I had to get like $500 for a child. I said, man, what my children got grown? I could use that $500 by myself. So, those handouts and welfare checks, Fannie Mae's and Freddie Mac's that they got going on in the year 2021.
Oh, they got subsidized, farming out here too. Don't get it twisted.
Oh yeah, you ain't too far.
Jeff Bezos paid $0 in taxes. Went to the edge of space on us, on our dollar.
Man.
Yeah, Doc. So real quick.
Yeah.
Get off the Popeyes, man. I get the craving. I get the craving. But we've been gardening. My wife
have you really?
Yeah, we've been gardening going on 7 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man,
So
see,
definitely, you know, I gotta get a. I'm thinking I need a composter because it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of waste. But you
man,
know, seasons, you know, that crop start to sprout. It sprout
man.
before you know it, man. Just get
If
it
you
going.
see
Get
how
something
much
in the
land I
ground.
had behind my house,
Get
dude.
you a red cup.
Uh-huh.
Get you some dirt and a red
Right.
cup. Like Killer Mike tell you,
Yep.
get you some dirt,
Dirt. And
a
yep, that's
red
right.
cup, and a
Yep.
seed.
Hey,
That's
and
all
you
you
don't
need.
even, yeah, a 5 gallon bucket or something, man. That's all it takes. But man, I'm just saying, I got so much land out here. You would be surprised. I could grow anything.
Get into it, man.
Man, I got to
You and
get
your wife out there, you know, get back to eating, brother.
put my wife out there.
Get her. I'm just saying, don't put her out there.
Would you? Okay, I thought you
Take
said put
her
my
with
wife out there.
you, you know.
Yeah. Hey,
Take
man, I
her
think if
with
you
you
can
and
grow
get
your
back
own
to
food,
eating. Get back to
right?
the garden.
It does. If you can grow your own food, that's why you look younger than I do. Because I mean, you eat your own food. 7 years, that's a long time, man. So how did you start?
It's all her.
Okay, how did she start?
I think it was just because you know, she was always on the cutting edge, you know.
Right, right,
Turn
right.
me on the sea moss and the whole crate. You know, it was always, you know, prophetic.
Man, I'm
In my
fixing to get on.
that's the only way I can explain it. Like she was way ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I really don't have to get. I mean, I could start. My mom years ago had one out here, man. But man, it's I'm finna do that, man. I'm finna get to it. But see, I gotta read up on it and see when's the best way to
Man,
plant
look,
what.
there's so many YouTube channels out there for it, brother.
Everything, man. You can put anything together. You can be a MacGyver with everything that's on there. But Ballard, man, I appreciate you. Listen, I'm a man of my word. As soon as those people come, I'm gonna see if y'all available. Who was it? Country Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Man, that'd be my promise to you. But let me tell you this, man. If you have like you're a prophet, if you have like just something you have to give me a call, we'll get you back. Because the thing about this, man, I can record it and then play it later. They just put a new feature on there. So if you're not available at that time, I'm gonna start recording a bunch of, and you know, so I can have them in case I don't feel like doing anything and run them premiere. So if you just feel like having a conversation, man, holler at me. We'll do it.
Man, anytime, my brother.
Dude, I appreciate you, man. I learn from you all the time. And see, I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I have not,
Me
I've got a
too,
lot
man.
of smart people on here, but man, and I'm
Me
not
too,
just
brother.
tooting your horn. I feel you, but man, you know, it's a blessing because if it wasn't, we need some critical thought and conversation. But man, listen, holler at me anytime. I'll be around.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace.